You and me, we ain't nothing alike. Let's set the record straight. Those words you say, they hold no weight, they like. Let's set the record straight. You'll never break the man before you're out.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Diecast review. This is the first 2022 Next Gen Diecast Cup car that we have reviewed on the channel. Now, coming tomorrow, or would it be tomorrow? Later today? Yeah, it'd be tomorrow, technically, when you're seeing this. We also have a couple customs. This one here. So it's a little sneak peek of that. And, of course, oh no, the day after that, we will have this one here. So, be on the lookout because we got some pretty juicy customs coming very, very soon. But as of right now, we are not worried about that. The Next Gen Diecast are here. Harrison Burton, 2022. Now, let's take a look at this box compared to last year's box. If I can get a box. Let's see if I can get a box here. So, here's 2022. And here's 2021. Okay. Colors don't really match, but it's colored nonetheless. And it did vary depending on the team. Stuart Haas had blue. I think, who had purple? Or was it different colors for different teams? Or was it like a couple different colors for a couple different teams? I'm not really too sure. I don't really remember exactly. But nonetheless, we had colors. This time, we don't have colors. It's just dark. It's just gray. Which, I mean, I'm not really, I'm not really going to complain about the box because, I mean, hello, it's just a box. I'm not really too concerned about it because I'm, purchasing the car. I'm not really purchasing the box. Yeah, the box is nice to go with it, but the car is what I'm wanting. So I'm not really too worried about the box itself. But this is different because we have different type of stuff here. So, first things first, they did remove the team logo from the bottom corner of this box. Why? I'm not really too sure, but of course in this case it'd be Wood Brothers. Next Gen 2022 season, that is new. We saw that on the Xfinity cars too. Same thing with this NASCAR Cup Series, they did add that. And on the Xfinity Series, they also added Xfinity Series right there as well. This is also new, www.lionelracing.com. It's not where I got it from, but, I guess that's really the main source of where these things come from. So, guess we'll throw in a little advertisement there. The box is pretty much the same on 64 scale. I believe that's different as well. Of course, you got the Next Gen season on the other side. Harrison Burton, that's all the same. And I mean, yeah, so a little bit of a change. I like the Cup Series logo being there. I do like that. That's pretty good. And I'm not going to lie, I really like the Next Gen 2022 season being up in the corner as well. So, that's just kind of my take on the boxes. Yes, I would love to have a little more color, but at the same time, I like how they at least changed it in terms of text. Because, I mean, it gets a little old when it's just, let's see, Stuart Haas Racing, Kevin Harvick, yada, yada, yada. They added the Next Gen, added the NASCAR Cup Series logo, and I like it. Now, again, I would like a little more color, but at the same time, they did change it, and I do kind of give them a little bit of props for that. At least, anyway. Now, something else. The banner on this specific car is incorrect. It still has the 2021 banner, if you notice, but that is not Lionel's fault, and a lot of people were bashing Lionel for it, and I'll admit, I was one of them that bashed Lionel because, I thought it was Lionel's fault to begin with. But, I mean, personally, I should have known better, being a diecast enthusiast. This was caused because they did not switch that banner until, a little later. So, Lionel thought it was going to be in the center. Of course, to kind of get ahead of the game and kind of get the diecast out a little sooner, they just kind of believed, they had the 2021 banners on there. And, it just turns out not to be the case. And things like this happen. I'm not mad about it, not upset about it. It's just a common mistake. But the real issues, from what I've seen already, is quality control. The decaling. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and see if we have ourselves any type of reason to be upset with Lionel. So, here's the diecast out of the box. Right away, I can spot 3, 4, 5-ish, 6, 7 errors on this car. Already, just from this angle. So, of course, Lionel still got a little bit of work to do with their quality control, but these molds look pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I can't really lie about that. So, we're just going to skip over the good thing. Well, now what I mean, quality control, this is all shifted up. You can see this spot down here doesn't match, or it doesn't line up. It's, kind of skewed up a little bit. Harrison Burton is almost on the freaking name rail, or on the roof rail, not the name rail. The B-post is up a little bit, same with that little American flag there. Lincoln Welders is the same way. There's a paint chip on the spoiler back here. I mean, it's just straight out the gate. Quality control. You can see right there, it's not really a big deal, but there is a little bit of decaling and not really lining up. I believe that does have to do with it just being a little slanted upward. There's a little bit of chipping here, a little bit of chipping here. And again, that's just on one side, except for the back. But, I mean, still, just the quality control, man, it's still not here. I was really hoping they kind of step up their game, but I guess not. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our very first Gen 7 die-cast review. Ford Motorcraft right there. Of course, you got the Ford on the bottom there. Now we do have these little vents right here. Those are on the cars. That is not just a decal. It's a decal on the car, on the die-cast. But in person, actually, when you open up the hood, that's cut out, and that stays in the engine bay. It's pretty interesting, actually. So, of course, we got Ford Motorcraft there. Got the incorrect Burton banner, but we've already talked about why it's incorrect, so it's not really Lionel's fault. Of course, you got the Ford logos on each side, something Lionel should have fixed, but they didn't. But, that's something for another day. 21 right there. Ford Motorcraft, of course. Burton on the back with... Okay, this is something I'm really not a fan of either. And, let's see. Let me get a good example. Or maybe not, I don't know. But... there's no grooves in the back windshield. They were printed on the front, and they were just engraved in the back for Gen 6. But it's not even engraved in the rear windshield for the Gen 7s, and I don't know if it's accurate like that, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the no grooves. I'm really not. It's just not really my thing. Ooh, that's a very... Oh my god, why is that so bad? Is that on my other one? No, that's quality control. Yikes, I should have used this for the custom. FordParts.com on the back, right? FordParts.com. You see the text? It's black, red, and white. It's only supposed to be black and white. But apparently, I was like, oh, he's going to be fine. But, man... That is god-awful, dude. Oh, now people are going to be like, well, stop buying it. Well, maybe I don't want it, so shut up. Okay. On the back. Now, this is something new. This is something new that I'm actually really impressed Lionel did. They added the rivets. I couldn't think of the word. The rivets on the back of the spoiler. We do not ever see that unless it's on a raced version. Now, I like it because it makes a little more realism into it. Now, they talked about kind of shaving down the spoilers. Personally, I'm fine with it. I mean, yeah, maybe it's a wee bit too high, but I mean, I'm still good nonetheless. I think it's alright. Of course, got Motorcraft right there with the tail lights, brand new back end. Got the rookie stripes, of course, with it being Burton. Got the 21, the Ford, Michigan Ford license plate. We, of course, are still out of that. And they kept the fake exhausts for whatever reason. I don't understand why. So there's a quadruple exhaust in the back. Fantastic. 2 on one side, 2 on the other. There's one here. And then there's one here. So what is that? 6 exhausts? And only 2 of them are legitimate? Man, I hate that. Of course, you got the divider on the bottom there. Oh, that's something else we need to take a look at is the bottom, too. Well, yeah, got a little more quality control. But I got Omnicraft, Dex Imaging, a little thing right there. There's another little thing that's actually a part of the... Not the paint scheme, but the actual race car. And man, look at that. Jesus. Yikes. This one was terrible. And they were both terrible, actually. I kept what I thought was the worst one for the custom, but, I guess not. Quick Lane, Tire and Auto Center. That's also off. Let's see. Harrison Burton. That one's a lot better on the other side. Let's see. Ford. Safety Clean ARP. Don't know what that one is. WBR, maybe? Can't really tell. Lincoln Welders. Of course, you got Motorcraft right there. Ford Motorcraft got a very gold, shiny, reflective number. I love that. Very nice job. Very good, very good. So I got the NASCAR Cup Series logo there. Goodyear right there. Of course, you got the brand new wheels. Look at this. I forgot to even show that. What in the world? Okay. Let's see. We're going to take a custom Bowman here. One that I haven't touched on in a long time, and I do need to redo it. So you can see here, those are the old wheels. These are the new wheels. A lot different. I like them. I like them a lot. Now, here's the thing. Back with the old customs, yeah, this is a very old, so don't judge my decaling, because it was not very good back in the day. In terms of printing quality, of course, it's a lot better now. But with these wheels here, the lug nuts were around this little center silver thing, right? That's just an axle to hold them on. So that was actually inaccurate for the longest time for the diecast, because, you know, that's not really how they were. And, of course, with the single lug nut now, it's dead center of the tire. So now these little silver parts for the actual, like, axle for the car, it is legitimate. And, I mean, that just happened to fall perfectly in place. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, you got the exhaust down there. On the front, not bad. I kind of like how these Fords look. They're a little, like, blocky, in my opinion. Not really a fan of how, like, long the nose is or how tall the nose is. But nonetheless, I think, you know, the diecast molds look pretty good. Now, here is the brand new undercarriage for these cars. And, of course, you know, I'm still going to do a side-by-side comparison. But you've already seen it. I'll do a side-by-side comparison to a Ford. That way it's just a little more fair. So this is the last year mold for the Ford. This is 2020, but they kept the same thing for 2021. So here's the underneath of the old ones. Of course, we've done multiple, you know, custom diecasts that we kind of edited, you know, the bottom, painted it and all that stuff. And here's the new one. Yeah, flat. Nothing. There is nothing to offer except for the rear dividers. Now, people are like, well, you know, hey, how Lionel did this. There's no detail, yada, yada, yada. But this is how the cars actually look underneath of the legitimate race cars. So, it's not Lionel's fault they were built that way. Lionel's just doing their job and recreating a diecast for us to enjoy. Now, personally, I hate saying this because I love doing detail, but it makes it a lot easier on me because I don't have to detail it underneath anymore. But, I mean, it's also very reminiscent of the... Did I even say that? Reminiscent? I don't know. It's very similar, there we go, to the open wheels. As you can see on the bottom, of course, you got that little cutout part. If you cut that out, it's a really open wheel, and that kind of like lead on the bottom is very, very similar. It reminds me a lot of the open wheels, but, you know, of course, they're still not open wheel by any means. Oh, look, a Goodyear error on the Goodyear tire. See that there? Yeah, there we go. The A's all cut off. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so this thing definitely has a lot of issues. Of course, it being Lionel, I didn't really expect it not to have issues. But, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The very first, at least as far as I can recall, Gen 7 diecast on the channel. Very first paint scheme. Of course, this is one of the very first ones that was released, as you can tell by the banner. But it's really cool to have some of these next-gen diecasts. And I believe, as you guys know, with the Gold Series and Authentics line, you know how they've been for years, the Authentics line has more like a tan color interior and stuff with no banners. And I believe, of course, as you saw with the undercarriage for the Fords, one was black, and then, of course, one was gray. But the gray one was always on the Gold Series, on the Authentics line, it did not matter. But I believe with these, if you get the Authentics line, the underneath is gray. The whole thing's gray. But if you get it in the Authentics, or in the Gold Series edition, which I'm, you know, showing you here, it's black. So it's very interesting. I'm not really too sure why they're doing that, but, you know, all for it. You know, I'm still going to paint it whenever I go to make it black anyway, because that is the correct color of the underneath of these cars, so, you know, why not make it accurate? But there it is. There's the very first look of a Gen 7 diecast released to the public, and that's something that's not really an early release. So yeah, there's that pretty cool little diecast here. Of course, we got a lot more to come, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, I do believe that will be all for this diecast review, so thank you all so much for watching. Let me know how you're enjoying these Gen 7 diecasts as they are slowly being released. But again, with that being said, I will see you all in the next video.
You can take away everything that I ever worked for. I'ma keep on pushing till I earn more. I won't ever fall. Won't never, won't never, won't never, won't never. won't ever